We're live. Friday deadline this week. Feels a bit odd not going live on a Saturday morning, but I'm committed. So we're live. Couple hours before the deadline. Chat through all the free hits, expected points, predicted scores, etc., etc. Usual spiel with my deadline streams. Only difficulty is this week. I think with everyone playing their free hit, it's going to be hard to look at people's teams in Draft Hound, unfortunately. But yeah, doesn't matter. We're live, and yeah, feel free to say hello in the chat if you're about, and I'll take you through my usual spiel. But yeah, good to see. I think we've got a couple of people in already. Good to have you in. Unfortunately, I'm a swimmer, and I had a meet. Well, I had a competition on Sunday, so I've been training hard for the last few months, and I've been on a bit of a taper for the last couple of weeks. And we just got an email this afternoon. The meet's on Sunday, by the way, and they've said that it's cancelled because the floor at the pool's adjustable, so they can adjust the depth. But yeah, fancy pool, it doesn't work. It's broken, so I think the pool's stuck at 0.1 meters or something like that. So yeah, quite disappointing news for me today, unfortunately. But we're going to try and put that past us because I really like doing these deadline streams. So. Right, let's see what people are saying. Ben McCrum, good to see you, mate. How are the mice? What's he asking? May need your help? Oh, mate, I'll give you a hand. I'm no expert, right? But I hopefully can ask some questions to make you think. Mr. Blanky's asking, should I sell Haaland for Salah? I don't know, mate. I think you could sell Haaland, but you'd want him back. You'd want him back next week because he doubles in 34 as well. So, for a 1 week, I probably wouldn't do it. Was it just the one, was it, Ben? Was it just the one? What I usually do is go through a quick little roundup of my score predictions for the game week. So I've done that again this week. So tonight, we've got Arsenal-Southampton. Hopefully we get some leaky team news because... I've got Martinelli and Jesus in my free hit, and I don't know if either of them are going to play. I think Trossard could come in for one of the two. I've just got a feeling. So hopefully we get some team leaks and find out what the Arsenal squad is before I lock in this free hit. I do see Arsenal winning that game, though, but I don't see them keeping a clean sheet. I don't think they've been amazing defensively when Saliba's not been in that team. So yeah, for me, I think Southampton score, which leads, but I think Arsenal win the game. So 3-1, 3-1's my predicted scoreline there. I reckon so, Mr. Blanky. He himself has been a bit inconsistent, but I think the way Arsenal have played have not suited him either. Obviously, he had a penalty against West Ham. Ask yourself, if he scored that penalty, would you be considering selling him? And that's just a single moment in the game. Any other day, he could have stepped up and scored that penalty. So, yeah, I think you need to ask yourself, if he scored that pen, would you still be holding on to him? I probably wouldn't sell him. In fact, I've got him in my free hit draft. I'm just going to go and shut my door because I realised I left my bedroom door open. 2 seconds. But yeah, I'd suggest ask yourself, would you be selling him if he scored that penalty? Because if the answer to that is no, then you should probably keep him because he just missed a penalty. And he's still on them going forwards. Fulham-Leeds is a really difficult one to call, to be honest. I know Leeds got absolutely whitewashed by Liverpool. But I do feel like Fulham, they're not... I feel like Leeds could pull their finger out a little bit in that game. Fulham are still really decent. In fact, I think Andreas Pereira is a cheeky little shout, along with Willian this week. But I see that ending in a draw. I think Leeds will really try to get something out of that game. And they'll probably force a draw from Fulham, score a couple of goals each. Villa-Brentford, I've got a feeling that's going to be a bit of a thriller. I see Watkins and Tony both scoring. They're both in my free hit team. I hope they do. But just with how good Villa have been recently, I think they win the game. Although I do think it's going to be really close. Palace and Everton, I don't see many goals in that one. Just the way that Palace set up at Selhurst Park, they're very solid. Same with Everton. Defence first probably from both teams. I just think that Palace are a bit, just more defensive at Selhurst Park. So I think that's probably a low score draw. Same with Leicester and Wolves. I just don't see much. I know Wolves won against Chelsea recently, but I'm not seeing, Wolves ripping up trees or anything, and neither Leicester are absolutely terrible as well, but I think that could end 1-1, something like that. And then I don't really see a way that Liverpool don't beat Nottingham Forest at Anfield. I think they probably win that game 3 or 4-0. Bournemouth and West Ham, I think that's going to be a close game, with West Ham just nicking it. I think they're going to ride the high of the European night they had last night and nick a goal to win the game. Then Newcastle and Spurs. Spurs are in disarray now. In fact, I made this scoreline yesterday before they got rid of their manager. But yeah, the what's his name? Stellini, isn't it? He got done today. He's gone. So they sacked their manager. So I just don't know what kind of place Spurs are in. There's absolutely no way that doesn't affect the players on the pitch either. So like St James's Park, like I just don't see them getting away with the result. They might score one like from Harry Kane or something like that, but I don't see any way they do that and Newcastle don't win the game. Yes, I can definitely look at people's teams if they're not on the free hit. If you're on your free hit, it's going to be really difficult for me to look at your team in Fan Team this week because unfortunately it shows the team as per the last deadline, because obviously FPL only updates per deadline. Otherwise, it just saves your profile to FPL. So yeah, I can't show your live free hit draft, but I can show my own. I can answer questions and I can show you if you don't have your free hit. If you're not playing your free hit, I can do that. I thought what might be interesting as usual, I've done a couple of videos going through this, but it's just the top players by position for expected points. So the goalkeepers are on the left. Top 3 goalkeepers this week, Alisson, Ramsdale and Johnston. I think most of us free hitters are probably on Sam Johnson, including myself. I think 4.4 million is a steal for, a keeper with a good fixture, playing for a team in good form. And he's also got a good chance of some saves bonus, I reckon. So yeah, I really like the thought of Johnson. I think Martinez is in there with a shout too. Maybe Jose Sarr against Leicester as well, but I think it's probably Martinez and Johnson who are the top picks as goalkeepers. And then no real surprise. I mean, Trent, Robertson, Trippier, and then the Arsenal defenders dominating. Draft Hound are not predicting Zinchenko to start. He's a bit of a funny one this week, and he's another player that people might be wanting team news on because Arteta says he's injured, but he's been pictured in training this week, running about. So what does that mean? He might be keeping it coy, or he might genuinely be injured and just focus in training on certain movements. Just no idea. So that will be one that we look for on Twitter before the deadline. Midfielders and forwards, Salah, Martinelli, Saka and Odegaard. Basically, Liverpool, Arsenal midfielders, followed by Eze, Bowen, Xhaka, and then Joe Linton, Elise and Son. I don't really back Son this week. I would have liked him, had Spurs been in a bit of a better position with managers, but at the moment, I just think they're in disarray. And then the top forward is Jesus, followed by Darwin Núñez, Isak, Watkins, Kane and Tony. For me, I don't mind Darwin Núñez or Isak, but I just don't know who's going to start up front for that Liverpool team. I'm guessing it's going to be Jota and Núñez now because I heard Firmino's got an injury. But how fit is Luis Diaz? He could get into the team as well. But I'd imagine it's Salah, because Gakpo's in there as well, isn't he? So it might not be Salah, Darwin and Jota. You just don't know who's going to play in that front three. There's 4-5-ish players who could play in those 3 spots. I think it's very uncertain beyond Salah. So I'm refraining from picking any of the Liverpool forwards. And I'm going for the defenders because you've got to think that Trent and Robertson play this weekend. I just don't see any way they miss out. But yeah, there's the top midfielders and forwards for expected points. Goal odds. So top of the tree is Salah for both of those. So goal involvement and goal scoring odds. Salah tops them both. And then Jesus and Darwin in second and third. Gakpo, Saka, Martinelli, they're up there as well. So I think we all kind of know who the best players are this week, but these sorts of stats just reaffirm that. And then in terms of teams' likelihood to keep a clean sheet, I've got Zinchenko on the screen. We'll see if he plays. But Arsenal, Liverpool, both teams above 50%, which suggests to me that they're obviously more likely than not to keep a clean sheet this week. So those are the 2 defences that I'd back. I've got double Liverpool defence, followed by Palace. Obviously, Johnston in. There are some Palace defenders that are quite popular. Newcastle 140. I suspect in my mind now, given the Tottenham manager situation, that's probably a bit higher. Followed by Leicester, West Ham, Brentford and Fulham. Usually, I'd say any team below 30%, they're not likely to get a clean sheet. But with the exception, I'd say this week of Villa, I think just with the form they've been in, they've got a chance. So yeah, the rest of the teams, and maybe Wolves as well. I'd say Villa and Wolves are the lower team clean sheet odd teams that might come away with something this weekend. That would be my view. And then just on your captaincy, I mean, this week for me it's quite easy. There's not really a better option than Salah in my opinion. Just looking at the underlying numbers and expected points, he's quite far ahead of the rest of the players, really, over 1 expected points higher than Martinelli, Jesus and Saka. So for me, you know, if you own Mo Salah, I think you've got to captain him. I don't think this week is the one to go different, just with the upside he has against Nottingham Forest. Let me know in the chat who you're captaining. In fact, I'll just catch up on the chat now while I'm on this screen. Ben, I will absolutely have a look at your team. I'll just get through all this content and then we'll have a look. Should I sell? I've got a blank this week, but then yeah, so it depends, Mr. Blanky. You have to come up with a plan to like navigate the next few weeks, really. I can help you that with my next couple of pages, but I can't answer that question without seeing your full team. Because you've mentioned you have Haaland, so if I'm not free hitting, I'd keep Haaland. I would also probably keep Matoma and March because you want them back. So for me, you know, if you've got any other players outside of those three that are blanking this week, those are probably the ones to sell. But I can have a look at your team if you give me a shout because you're not free hitting. It's quite cool to see so many people not free hitting, to be fair. You look on Twitter, everyone's doing it, aren't they? So it's quite refreshing that not everyone is. Ben Keane, I have never had any luck with Calvert-Lewin. I'm sure Ben McCrum, who's in the chat as well, will back me up on that. You both play a game called Sky Fantasy Football, where you have a captain every day. There's a Premier League game, and on occasions, Calvert-Lewin has had like a single game day, and then you captain him, and he just doesn't appear in the team. Even when the boss says he's fit, he just sometimes just doesn't even appear in the team, and then he could get injured during the game. It's just not the kind of player I go for, really. Boo Boo's wildcarding next week. Fernandes and Haaland out, Salah and Watkins, or I'd go for Watkins over Isak. I know Isak has good upside, but I just don't know if he's going to start. That would be my thing, or how many minutes he's gets. To Tommy, I obviously, like I said, I prefer Salah, but Jesus is up there as a top captain, as you can see on this list. I don't mind it. I think the one thing there is a bit of talk about between the Arsenal fans is they think Trossard might play today. I don't know that. I'm not an Arsenal fan. I don't personally think he will. I think it will be the same team that's been playing every week and Trossard will come off the bench. But if Trossard does play, he could either quite easily come in for Jesus or Martinelli. So I would just want to keep tabs on that before going for a captain. But I'll keep it locked. If you keep it locked to my stream, I'll have a look on Twitter, see if we get any leaked Arsenal lineups. The fact that you said Nunes maybe, Ben, makes me doubt those Liverpool forwards, I've got to say. Hello, NCK Footies. Good to have you in here too, bud. Good to have you in here. And then speaking of free hit drafts, in fact, this isn't my team. I'm telling a lie. This is an example. I've changed a couple players around. It's nothing too fancy. I've put Jesus in for Kane. I've put Bowen in for Odegaard. And I've put Trippier in for Guehi. But to be honest, this team is something I could well revert back to. I think on this deadline stream, you're going to see me flip-flop between lots of different options. This is the option I had yesterday, and I've already slightly changed it. But I think this is a very respectable free hit team. I just didn't trust, given the Tottenham managerial news, that sort of put me off going for Kane and made me a bit more interested in Trippier. I just don't know how that sort of situation doesn't affect their squad. So yeah, I just see Tottenham being in the mud basically this week and really struggling in that game. So it's put me off Kane a little bit. And Kane was already relatively low for like expected points. I think he was the 5th or 6th highest scoring like expected points forward, which for 11.7 million is not really good enough. So yeah, thinking about going without him, but that's an example of where I was yesterday. And then this is Draft Hound's top team. So it doesn't take into account budget. So there's no budget involved here. Although I think this team is actually affordable for the budget. But this is their top picks for expected points. Which is quite an interesting look if you're interested. And then just looking at fixtures, I guess this is what Mr. Blanky was after just in terms of making his transfers. So we've got a double in 34, a double in 36, and now I think a double in 37 is going to be confirmed for Brighton. So you're going to be wanting to sell your Brighton players ahead of Forest in 33 and then a double game week in 34. I think it's yeah, I just wouldn't be selling my Brighton players, I don't think. And then that's my team. That's how we're looking, lads. I'd say that's pretty healthy. I don't know about you. Johnson in goal, Trippier, Trent and Robertson. I don't think you can pick 3 better defenders than that, other than maybe some Arsenal lads. But with Holding in defence, I'm not convinced Arsenal are going to be any good. Salah is my captain. I've gone for Jared Bowen because I quite like the Bournemouth fixture, and Bowen just in general has been in good form. Saka and Martinelli are still my favourite 2 Arsenal midfielders, I think. Watkins, Jesus and Tony as my front 3, which I really like. Watkins and Tony have been reliable. Well, Watkins is just red hot. I don't think you can go without him. Jesus has been really good since he's come back, and then Tony has been consistent all season, and he's not had a ban yet. Most people not on their free hit would have sold him, so I'm hoping that he's my little differential this week. And then boring bench, I've just gone Iverson as the cheapest goalkeeper, Andreas Pereira, and Mings and Totti. I'll have a quick look. Before I go through people's teams, I'll have a quick look at Calvert-Lewin's points for Ben. Kane to Salah, I don't mind that, mate. As long as it's not for a hit, I'm not sure it's worth a hit. So Calvert-Lewin's expected points are 3.2 this week. 25% chance of scoring, apparently. That's what they're saying for Calvert-Lewin at the moment. Ben McCrum was first come, first. I'm going to try and keep a list of first come, first serve on the team check. So Ben McCrum, mate, if you want to send me your team name, I'll have a quick gander at it. And then I think it was Mr. Blanky, wasn't it? But yeah, get your team names in the chat and I'll have a quick look. The only way I can do it is if you're not free hitting, unfortunately. If you got your free hit, you just have to post it in the chat. And NCK Footy, I'll have a look at what you've written in a second. I'm already looking at Mr. Peaky's team. I've got it locked from last time. If you make loads of transfers and ruin his team, you're joking, it doesn't count. Have you done any transfers so far, Ben? That doesn't look too bad at all, to be honest, mate. You're just wanting that Zinchenko news, aren't you? I've got to be honest, mate. I would be very, very close to rolling, especially if Zinchenko played. Like, I know 4-4-2 doesn't feel perfect, but I'd be very tempted to just roll. I mean, the power of 2 free transfers next week. You could go Kane to someone, get Salah, and then also get Rashford as well, because Rashford's back, isn't he? You could do a lot with 2 free transfers. I would just, yeah, I think I'd just roll this week. As long as Zinchenko's playing, I think we need to check the Arsenal team leaks. And even if Zinchenko doesn't play, like, is there a player on that list you would sell? Would you sell Zinchenko? I'm not sure. Actually, no, you would, wouldn't you? With Man City away, Chelsea away, you probably would sell him. So maybe here's your transfer and you go Zinchenko to someone else. Let's see. What does the world say you should be doing? Yeah, it could get Liverpool in. Just the difficulty is how. How do you get a Liverpool player in with that? Unless you take a hit. Unless you take a painful hit. Come up with some ideas for that, mate. That's what I reckon I'd do. Titomi, this is Draft Hound. There's a link, as you can see on the ticker below me. That's convenient timing. There's a sign-up link in the description of this video. I'm now pleased to say I'm an affiliate of Draft Hound. So if you sign up on that link, I'd very much appreciate it. Yeah, -8 does feel rough. -8 feels really rough. Hala Madrid, FPL. Let's have a gander at that. Zinchenko to Konate. That could work, you know. That could work. But then, do you want to be stuck with Konate for the next few weeks, I think is the question. Like, if Zinchenko plays, you're absolutely loving it, aren't you? That must be really... I can see why you said that it's annoying. Good afternoon, Lee. Good to see you. I'll have a look at your team after Mr. Blanky, Izana, NCK Footy, Johnson, Iverson, or Allison. Trippier, Thierry, Moreno, Mings. I really like those teams. Okay, you've got an or. I just do Johnston, mate. I think that's fine. Or Bowen, Martinelli, Saka, Eze. No, I think you've got to have a team with Salah in it, NCK Footy. Salah's the best captain. I think if you don't have Salah this week, you're kind of missing out, to be honest. Who am I looking at? Mr. Blanky. What did Mr. Blanky want to know? He wanted to know if he should sell his Brighton players. You have Salah. I'm very confused because you said or Bowen, Martinelli, Saka, Eze, Jesus, Solanke, Watkins. That doesn't have Salah in it. So I'm very confused. You put the word or in it, which confuses me, I'm afraid. I'll have a look in a second, mate. Go again. You might need to repeat yourself. What would you guys do with this team? What would you guys do with this team? I don't think... You ain't got a keeper either, have you? This is a bit of a... Yeah, this is a bit of a scary one for me. Hello, Dakshin. How you doing, pal? Good to see you in the chat. I'm just going to have a look at the fixtures to see who you can bring in. I wouldn't be selling Ben White because he's got a blank, mate. He plays this week, sorry. So I wouldn't make Ben White my transfer. I was looking mainly at a goalkeeper, to be honest. So you could probably buy... I quite like Martinez. You could probably buy yourself Martinez. You're probably going to have to take a hit this week. Or you could just play 10, to be honest. You could just roll with that. Martinez ain't bad, mate. I think Martinez is pretty good. What other options have we got? You could go for the Brighton blank, don't they? What am I talking about? I'd probably just bring in Martinez in goal, to be honest. I don't know. People in the chat can chime in as well. What would you do with that team? It's got Kepa in goal at the moment. I think I'd go Martinez in goal. I think that's what I'd do. Salah, yeah. I don't know how you get Salah in with this team. I don't know how you get him in. Like, there's just not a player there that I would be selling. You can't see that. I wouldn't sell Haaland because you want him next week and then the week after. You wouldn't sell March because you want him next week. You wouldn't sell Saka. You wouldn't sell Martinelli. Maybe what you could do... Yeah, I think you could do 10 men. I think you could go with 10 men and buy a goalkeeper. 10 men's not the end of the world, mate. I'd probably buy a keeper because I wouldn't feel comfortable with Kepa either, to be honest. Chelsea are just terrible, aren't they? Sorry, I meant that Gakpo or Bowen to get in. Oh, you're deciding between Gakpo and Bowen. Okay. Yeah, I really like the team then. If you've definitely got Salah in it, I really like the team. Obviously, I've gone for Bowen over Gakpo because I've got 3 Liverpool already. I just think the upside of double Liverpool defence is better than double Villa, which you have there. Action, I will have a look in just a second because I think there's a bit of a queue. Drawn Stormo for Izana. Let's have a look at that. Should I go Allison or Iverson? Are you free? Is that a free hit team? No, because if it's a free hit team, just go Iverson because Johnson's going to play. Yeah, Rashi and Shaw, you want them back though, mate. You want them back. Like next week, you want it. Yeah, United are playing horrendous, but Rashford's back. Shaw could be the one to go, to be fair, because they're not particularly keeping clean sheets. But then tell me a defender you really want to bring in for Shaw this week with the budget you have. Let's just go back a sec. Sorry, Izana, but like, tell me a defender you'd want to bring in for sure this week. I just don't feel like there is one. What can you, if you bring Robertson in, what can you afford? Ooh, hang on. Yeah, you can't afford anything. I always prefer Kane, Angel, Engel. Sorry, I can't pronounce your name. I always prefer Kane. Son seems to be in a bit better like playing form, but Kane's always got the penalties. I totally agree on the Man United defence, Mr. Blanky. Totally agree. I'm a Man United fan, but I think my point is, who would you bring in for sure? Who could come in for you? I don't see many. Ben, as a Liverpool fan, is suggesting that Konate might not even play. So he's obviously the one you'd look at, but is he going to play? Not sure. They got Matip. Man City don't play this week. I mean, are you going to really want to buy a Bournemouth or a West Ham defender? I don't think so. A Villa defender? Not at this stage, I don't think. Eze for Rashi, but Rashi's fit, mate. He's back in training. Like the guys, he was on the bench against Sevilla. I think he'll be back for game week 33, and that's Tottenham away. Just not sure you'd be wanting to do that. If you did bring in Eze for Rashford, I suppose you would have to make the transfer straight back next week if you were to do that. Then you'd lose a whole lot of cash in Rashford as well, because he's 6.9 worth in your team, and he's now 7.1. I would probably just go with 10. I know it sounds really boring, but I'd probably go with 10. I'm going to move on if that's all right, mate. Hopefully they've given you something to think about there. It's really not entirely clear what to do with your team, but hopefully I've given you something to think about. That's really all I can do. Let's have a look at Izana's team. But yeah, I totally agree on the United defence being vulnerable. I definitely like Andreas as an option, mate. I think he's a really nice option. So this is Izana's team. Let's just see if he wanted to know anything. He's got 2 frees. Oh, that's nice. That is nice. I think I would do Kane to Salah. You got a 7.1 for a forward then. Maybe you could do something like that, mate. You'd have to. The thing is, the thing is, though, if you buy Salah, you've still got loads of blankers, haven't you? Let's just reset that a sec. So yes, you could do Kane for Salah, but realistically, who'd you sell? Because you ain't going to want to sell Rashford because he's back next week. You're not going to sell Haaland because you want him next week. You don't want to sell your Brightons because you want them next week. Maybe you sell Saka. Maybe you do that. Yeah, maybe that's your move, mate. You do Saka to Salah and Kane to Jesus. I don't think that looks too bad. But again, like because you got Zinchenko, you're gonna be wanting to wait on that early team news, aren't you? Yeah, you could sell Ake. That's so tough. Ake's the injured one, isn't he? I guess. But like selling Ake won't fund you Salah. You're not going to get to Salah by selling Ake. I've already got Bowen in over Gakpo, and I don't even care about who I can afford as a result. I think Bowen is almost a better option. Who else have we got to look at? If Zinchenko is out, would you do Kane to Solanke and Zinchenko for Robertson for -4? That gives me budget to do Maddison to Salah this week. Harry Kane out for a -4. Harry Kane out for a -4. Would I be doing that? That fills me with discomfort, taking Harry Kane out for a -4. I know he doesn't have fancy fixtures or doubles, but he's Harry Kane. Robertson, by far, in my opinion, is the best pick, mate. Simper depends. If you're on your free hit, I think it's Johnston. If you're not, it's a bit tougher. I'll have a look at your team now, Brisky. Sorry if there's anyone like in the queue. I'm trying my best to... Oh no, Dakshin was. Dakshin, I've got to look at your team. What we got here? Did Rashi to Salah and James to Guehi. Yeah, I like it, mate. I'm guessing you're just playing Boltman. But yeah, I like it. That sounds really good. That looks really good, Dakshin. I can't really I can't really comment. I think it's a really nice team. It's a really nice team. The briskiest of a gander. What do you want then, Charles? I guess you've not got a free hit, have you? So let's have a gander. You can make 11-ish. Well, Ward's not going to play, to be fair. You can probably just go without your keeper. I don't know about Bueno as an option. 1.4 in the bank. What would I do? Yeah, I don't mind Martinez as goalkeeper, Simpa. I think that's not too bad at all. Don't think that's too bad at all. I'm just thinking what I'd do with that team. Because obviously if Zinchenko plays, you're in luck. We'll find out together if he plays or not. I'll be looking. And then you've got 10, haven't you? Well, you got 9, in fact. You could do that. But will Bueno play? What's his... He's not expected to play. He's not been playing recently. It's a tricky one. What transfer would I make with this team? I think your front line's all sound, to be fair. I think the transfers to be made in defence. I think I would probably... In fact, tell you what I would do. I think I would do this. I think I would do Kepa to Alisson. I think that's what I'd do, Brisky. I think that's probably the best transfer you can make with your team. Because it leaves you nice and well set for 34 for a nice double. You know, a good fixture this week. Why do you need to save Kepa? What do you mean about Kepa? I think Kepa to Alisson is your move this week. No, absolutely don't think you should get rid of Haaland. Surely not. The only time Haaland's been rested is when he's been injured. Kepa has a double... Look, you can look. So Kepa has a double game week, potentially coming up in 37. Whereas Liverpool, you know, they play this week, then they double in 34, and then they play Villa in 37. And Kepa's double in 37 is Man City and Man United. So, I mean, that doesn't even count as a double game week, really. So I just don't like that at all. I reckon Kepa out. I reckon Kepa out. That'd be my move, but I'm not telling you to do it because that's never what I do. But if you want my opinion, I think Kepa out for Alisson because that just seems sensible to me. Who else we got? Anyone else? Yeah, I think Kepa for Alisson's the move in that team, mate. I don't know if Ben McCrum's still on, but see what he thinks. He's a Liverpool fan, knows a lot about Liverpool. I trust his judgment. I like that. Odegaard to Rashford. I don't mind it, especially because Arsenal play Man City and Chelsea. I don't think those are fantastic fixtures. They also don't double, whereas Man United do. They got 2 doubles to Man United. So yeah, Odegaard to Rashford makes sense. I think a lot of people will be bringing Rashford back into their teams next week or in 34. So I don't mind that at all. And Man United got Tottenham as well. Oh yeah, my screen. Yeah, so Alisson be my change, mate. That would be what I'd do. Would I take a hit? You could take a hit, but I don't know who I'd bring in. Yeah, I mean, you could do another transfer, but yeah, I'm just thinking I'm not sure who I'd bring in. I don't think Zinchenko's going to play either, but would you want to sell him? Like, you will find out if he plays or not, but I just don't know who's sensible to take him out for. Like, around that price, there aren't many good defenders, and you'll probably want him still back in your team. Could just go Ben White if he doesn't play, something like Ben White. The thing is, with your players that aren't going to play, the players that you have to bring in for them have to get a clean sheet or an attack in return to be worth the transfer. So if you bring in, like, I don't know, with the money you have, which isn't much, you have to bring in a player because they'll need to score more than 4 points to make the hit worth it. They'll have to keep a clean sheet or get an attack in return. So, you know, I don't think you can 100% guarantee that that's going to happen with any defenders for the price that you can currently afford. You got 5.5 million for a defender for Zinchenko. Don't think any of the 5.5s are going to do that. I think we wait on Zinchenko news, mate. Hello, Unish. Good to see you, mate. Thank you for joining the stream. Zinchenko to White, you could do that. I'd wait for the news. Let's have a look. But then again, it's the same question. It's the same question. Ben White has to keep a clean sheet against Southampton for that transfer to be worthwhile. He has to. That's the comment I'd have on that one, really. Anyone else want their, excuse me? Anyone else want their team looking at? I think this is probably the lot of people not free hitting. Mepham or Perraud on a free hit? Absolutely not, mate. No way. Perraud, definitely not. Not against Arsenal. Mepham, nah. Nunes, but who would he come in for? I'm not sure Nunes would even play, mate. I really don't think Nunes will start. In fact, we can have a quick look at that. I'll show some Twitter team news. I wouldn't bring Nunes in for Kane or Tony. They're both playing this week, mate. That doesn't make sense to me. What we got? Let's see if team news and ticks has said anything so far. Nope, he's got nothing. Firmino is injured. Yeah, I think we'll look at the lineup predictions now. This is a Liverpool predicted lineup. Jota, Gakpo, Salah, Thiago, Henderson, Fabinho, Trent, Robertson, Van Dijk, Konate. And then we're looking a bit more detail. I don't know if you can read this, but it's got the percentage of each players to start. basically this Twitter account, Jump the Wave, gets 20 players, 20 FPL players that support like the big Premier League teams that do rotation to predict their likelihood of playing. And Gakpo is 90%. So the Liverpool team basically predicted is Alisson, Trent, Robertson, Van Dijk, Konate, Fabinho, Thiago, Henderson, Salah, Jota, Gakpo. That's the anticipated Liverpool team. Best defenders on a free hit. I'll put the screen on for 5 seconds for you to have a look at, pal. Those on the right are the top defenders this week for expected points. So the best 3, in my opinion, are Trent, Robertson and Trippier. Those would be the 3, and then the rest of them there. Arsenal team, let's see what they're saying. So Saka, Martinelli, Jesus is 100% nailed on apparently. 97% Jesus. One person's gone for Trossard. So everyone's saying it's going to be Saka, Martinelli, Jesus. Odegaard, Xhaka, Partey. Zinchenko and Tierney is a bit 50-50. They're not sure, but they do think Zinchenko than Tierney. I don't know if you can see that. The screen might be a bit small, but more are suggesting, as you can see on my cursor, Zinchenko and Tierney are there. More are suggesting Zinchenko and Tierney, then obviously it's Gabriel, Gabriel Holding in white. Hopefully that's useful for you. Those are the 2 teams we're interested in, really, isn't it? Spurs, I don't think anyone cares too much. I mean, Son and Kane are going to play. You're not going to pick a Spurs defender this week. Surely not. Surely not. Not against Newcastle at St James's. Yeah, Jimmy T. Depends also on what the budget you've got and how many players you've picked from each team, of course. So I'm happy to provide my opinions on different players. We're just going to go back to my team if that's all right. Like I said, I'm not sure there is a second transfer to make here. I really don't think there's a transfer to make. Like, I'm really struggling to find a transfer here that's worth it for a minus. I'm struggling. I really am. Because you've not got enough money for one of the top defenders. Like, I would take a hit for Trent, Robertson and Trippier, definitely. I'd take a hit for them, but you can't afford them. I don't think there's I don't know if anyone else in the chat has got a suggestion, go for it. But in my mind, there's not a hit here that's worth it. I just don't think there is. You can't afford someone that's good enough to score you more than 4 points, in my opinion. I don't know, Jimmy T. In fact, no one's done a prediction on that. We'll have a look, see if he's in the predicted lineup, shall we? I think Kepa to Alisson. You could do Ward to Iverson. That's just horrendous, isn't it? But yeah, Kepa to Alisson, I think is your move, mate. I think Alisson long term is decent, and I don't think you're going to be able to get in Liverpool defenders when you've used your wildcard already and your free hit. I think it's Kepa to Alisson with that team is probably the best move to make. I think that's sensible. People in the chat again can suggest stuff, but I think that's probably sensible. I'm just going to have a look on Twitter, see what people are saying about Isak. Some people going for him. I think he'll probably start, to be fair. I think he'll probably start. You could do me to Gahey, but like Gahey's got to get a clean sheet for it to be worth it, and is like that's all Gahey's going to get as well. He's like very, very rarely scores. I'm sorry, I'm so pessimistic, but I really don't think there's a. Well, you wouldn't be doing Kane to Watkins for a hit, mate. Definitely not. I don't mind that, John Fish. I think I don't mind that. And I say that, Brisky, because Robbo is better for a -4 to bring in than any of the defenders you can afford. Because you just got to look at the predicted points, mate, and really like you want your defender that you bring in to score more than 4 points this week, and I'm just not sure. Maybe you could bring Cher in, but just not sure. Maybe you could do Zinchenko to Schär, Fabian Schär, maybe. Maybe that's the hit you take. Maybe that's where the hit is. Or you could do Shaw to Schär, to be fair. Because Zinchenko is probably a better long-term option than Shaw. I wouldn't do Zinchenko to White. To me feels completely pointless because White doesn't get attacking returns. So he'll only be getting clean sheets this week if that's the points he scores. I don't like that move. Sorry. I don't like that move. I think I'd do Shaw to Schär and then play Schär. But that's a painful hit because he's only predicted to get 4.4 points. So that's not exactly, that's 0.4 points more than a hit. Like, I don't know. Sorry, like I said, sorry I'm so pessimistic about these hits, but I really wouldn't be taking too many hits to rip up your team, pal. I'm going to move on now if that's okay. Go back to my team. Yeah, I'm on it, Alex Andrew. I'm just flashing it up, mate. You've joined at a good time. Here's how I'm looking at the moment on me free hit. This isn't it. This is Brisky's team still. That's how I'm... Oh, that's not my team. Oh, it is my team because it's reset. Here's how I'm looking on my free hit. Hang on. You can't see that. There we go. That's my free hit team. I think I did previously have Kane in for Jesus. I did have Gahey in for Trippier, and instead of Bowen, I had Odegaard. But I feel with the Tottenham news about their manager getting sacked, I just feel like Tottenham are really in the mud, and I'm not sure they're going to pull out a result against Newcastle, which has made me think Newcastle probably keep a clean sheet. So I've sold Kane and bought Trippier. That's my logic behind that one. But yeah, I don't really see how I can do better than this team now. I've got to be honest with you. I could go for Gakpo, but then it means selling my double Liverpool defence, and I think these double Liverpool defenders do well this week. I think they've got a good chance of maybe attacking returns and obviously clean sheets, and they're all going to play 90 minutes, aren't they? Well, for a defender, maybe you want them to get subbed off after 60 when they've got a clean sheet in hand, but you know what I mean. By the way, I haven't said it yet, but if you're new to the stream, please subscribe to this channel. I'd really appreciate that if you're enjoying what you're watching. I do plenty of FPL videos. So yeah, if you want to see more of me, please subscribe. And if you're just genuinely enjoying it, I'd really appreciate it if you could like the stream as well. That's the thing for me, Brisky, with Liverpool. I know I don't trust them massively either, but Anfield is it's just such a factor for them. I think they could keep a clean sheet against anyone at Anfield. So that Anfield factor is the reason I'm backing them. Not sold on Robertson. What makes you think that? Do you think Tsimikas might play? Thankfully, I've got Andres Pereira and Mings to come and save me on the bench. Yeah, didn't Stellini leave? Is that what I heard? Stellini, his name is, isn't it? I'm pretty sure. Oh, did he? I've heard he got sacked. Or is it? Oh no, he's their interim manager. Oh, I see. He's been named as their interim manager. Yeah, I just think that's disastrous for them, to be honest, mate. That's the thing. Not been sacked, sorry. Yeah, I just think Tottenham are with their managerial problems. They're just in the mud. I don't rate them. Sorry, I probably got my facts a bit wrong there. I just leave him. Just leave him. Like, you could sell him this week, but it's for a hit. Like, I guess if you don't play this week, so we're going to build an argument now, right? I'm going to go back to your team. FPL associate, I'll have a look in just a second, pal. Yeah, I get you're building a case to fairly sell Zinchenko, aren't you? There, I don't mind it, but I guess over the weeks it's probably worth it. But the question is, how much is Robertson? 6.8. And who could you buy for Kepa? There's no one, is there? There's no one. Good lord, you could go for Iverson because he's got pretty good fixtures. But then you tell, oh, that's so... No, he's not out of range. You could do that. You could do that. You could do what I've just done. It's a pretty tragic position to be in. But, I mean, Leicester, those 3 fixtures there, they're pretty good. Wolves at home, Leeds away, Everton at home. They're pretty good fixtures. That gets you Robertson. In fact, it gets you Trent as well, I think. How much is Trent? It's set just out of range. Or it does actually. You could get Trippier. And then... how much is Ramsdale? So that might be the move. That might be the move. Trippier for Zinchenko. Tottenham, Everton, Bournemouth, Southampton. I don't think that's too mad. I think I've got to say Solanke, but I think it's really close. Goalkeeper, I think you'd have to choose that, Brisky. There's a lot of options there and not much between them. So I'd rather you took that decision in your own hands. I'm not going to tell you who to pick out of that lot. It's too close, mate. That's a decision for you to make, I reckon. That's all right. Hopefully that helps. I think Zinchenko to Trippier might be worth it, but you've got to stay on this stream to see if Zinchenko's playing, because we might get some leaked lineups. Do you think last night makes the possibility of De Gea even more likely? Yeah, I do. I think it shows the flaws in his game, doesn't it? I really do. He just can't kick. He's just not a good kicker of the ball. Fantastic shot stopper. Probably one of the best we've ever seen in history. I'm going to go that high. Like, some of the saves De Gea's made over his career have been unbelievable, haven't they? But yeah, he's just not very good with his feet. He's an old school goalkeeper. The question is, though, I guess, Christopher, is, who's in the market? Which goalkeeper is on the market that Man United could buy? Maguire, I definitely don't rate him associate, I'm afraid. But likewise, I don't think none of the goals last night, I don't think were massively his fault. I watched him at the World Cup, Christopher, and he made mistakes. He made mistakes in the World Cup, did Diogo Costa. Just let me know which one of these two you are, associate, and I'll add you in. That's fair enough. What do you want, Aman? Do you think Son is a good pick? Oh, I'm so sorry. What do you guys think about Son as a differential? I'm sorry, mate. I do apologise. I didn't ignore you. It's still quite hard to read the whole chat because I've got, sorry. I like Son. I don't rate him this week though, because I just think I don't see Tottenham scoring against Newcastle. I think they could well keep a clean sheet. Oh, it's Brick Hill United. My bad. Sorry, pal. There you go. Here he is. Thank you, Al Padrino. I really appreciate that. I enjoy making them, so thank you. Makes it all worthwhile hearing that. I really appreciate it. This, my friend, is a free hit team. Yeah, so I can't see the free hit team. So if you've free hitted this week, which I think you probably will be, I can't see it because it resets the team as per, unfortunately, as per the game week 31 deadline. So if you want to know a free hit team, there it is. How many double game weeks are you considering for 34? Well, I definitely want Rashford and Salah back. I've no idea how I'm going to do it, but I want Rashford and Salah. So we just have a look. So I'll have triple Brighton, so that's sorted. I'll have Salah, I'll have Rashford, I'll have Haaland, and I'll have Grealish. So what? 1, 2, 9. 9? Is that 9? 8 or 9? Might have Shaw as well, but I just don't feel Man United are worth it. Martial, he was got injured in the Sevilla game on Thursday, mate. He's just not worth it. Al Padrino, thank you very much. It is only right to hit the like button and subscribe if you're new. I'd really appreciate that. Yeah, thank you very much. I've also, you'll be pleased to hear, hang on, I'm reinvesting some money into the YouTube channel, not that I've made anything. So yeah, I am buying a professional. Well, I found some lighting on Amazon. Yeah, Martial's injured again, I'm pretty sure. I heard on the radio he limped off or looked like he picked up a knock against Sevilla. I'm buying a proper lighting rig. Look at that. So that's arriving tomorrow at some point. So yeah, we'll be pro lighting next week. You hopefully won't have see my glasses reflect my ring light. So hopefully that won't be happening anymore and I'll look a bit more professional. And then I'm going on holiday. So this is another update I've got to give to you guys. I'm going on holiday next week to Barcelona for a few days. And what I didn't realise, because the bloody fixtures have been rearranged since I booked my holiday, is that the game week deadline for 33 and 34 are both while I'm away. Or actually, more than when I'm away, they're genuinely while I'm in an airplane. So there's absolutely no way I can do a live stream. So yeah, unfortunately, no deadline stream for 33 and 34, but I'll still be popping out a couple of videos while I'm away. I genuinely do it as a hobby, so I'll be sitting in a cafe in Barcelona making a couple of YouTube videos for you guys. Johnson, Trent, Gabriel, Trippier, Andreas, Salah, Saka. I like that. Nice team. Yeah, I must admit I've not been a bit lacking on the Discord recently. I just haven't had the time to look at it. But I'll fix the link now. 2 seconds. I'll edit it on my phone. I've not checked the Discord for a little while, to be honest. I've been a bit lacking on that. The Discord's been a bit dead recently, but you're most welcome to join. I think that's more of a thing where if I get some more time for YouTube, I spend so much time making videos. I got a full-time job and I'm like wouldn't say semi-professional, but I take swimming quite seriously as well. So I just do a lot with my time. So it's really hard to manage everything. And also, I just want to limit the time I spend on my phone as well. I don't know about you guys, but I could quite easily spend just hours and hours just looking at Discord. So I'll sort that out in a sec. Yeah, Son obviously can score against anyone. I'd say he's pretty fixture-proof. He's been in good form too. But it's like Newcastle at St James's Park have got like the Anfield factor for Liverpool, haven't they? 34, considering March, Matoma, Shaw, Rashford, Salah, Gakpo, Robertson, Estupinian, Aged, Ederson. So I like Ederson. I don't like Aged because you think of that double game week for West Ham, right? It's a single, isn't it, really? If you're picking a West Ham defender, because they're going to score against Man City, going to score against them. But as for the rest of them, I quite like it. Not sure about Shaw either. With the Varane and Martinez injuries now, I'm not sure about the Man United defence. I mean, I literally think they could concede every game. What do you need, Barmy Army? What help do you need, my friend? I'm happy to provide it. If I send over my team, it may be better to visualize. Go for it, pal. Go for it. Let me know. Let me know your problems. I'm confused now. Don't know if you did a -8. Oh, you don't know if you should do. Okay, let's have a look. Like, just, you've like taken hits, and it's the most simple question, but in order to take a hit in FPL, the transfer you make needs to be worth 4 points or more. Who is the better option out of Solanke, Isak, Maddison, Bowen, or Tony? Who do you think will score the most points? Honestly, I think it could be Tony. But the question is this just a 1 week pick? Are we just picking for 32? Because if you're just picking for 32 on a free hit, then it's definitely Tony. But if it's across the season, I would probably say Maddison or Solanke of that lot, because they're just nailed to start. But it's very close. Yeah, I'd go Tony then for your free hit, mate. Tony. Not many people are praising Tony too much, but he's been so reliable this season. Definitely to associate. I'm very aware of the pickpockets. I've got all my... Well, I have a watch, but I won't be taking that. I'll just be very careful. But yeah, I appreciate the advice, mate. A lot of people have told me about pickpockets. So I'll be very careful. Well, it's higher ownership, and I just think he's such a good option. Like, he's amazing. He's had an amazing season. I know Villa are doing all right at the moment, but like, Tony scored at the Etihad, he scored at the Emirates. He's amazing. So I really like Tony. But Lee's made a good argument, to be fair. This week I prefer Ollie Watkins to Harry Kane. Right, Barmy Army, it's better to visualise. What do you need then, mate? You're looking at doing... Do you want to do Zinchenko to Trent? Do that. Get Trenty in. Zuma's got to come in, I guess, for someone. And then you got 10. I don't think that's the end of the world. Like, did we go through this team at the start where I was just saying I don't think 10 players is the end of the world? I think that's all right. You could go Salah, but like, who'd you sell? Who'd you sell for Salah on this team? Like, all of the... Maybe you could do... I mean, but it's a -8. You could do that, and that's a -8. So you're selling Kane and Saka for Salah and Jesus this week. So you're saying that Salah over the next is worth 4 points. That transfer is worth 4 points. Saka to Salah. And then Kane to Jesus, you're also saying that transfer is worth 4 points. On paper, it's a nice transfer, but I'm just not sure. Shaw and Chilwell to Trent and who? 4.9 million in the bank. Probably go for a Palace defender, mate. Or a Villa defender. Take your pick of the lot, really. I don't think there's a best one of any of them, to be honest. But for me, it's Salah, captain this week. Salah's undoubtedly the best captain. See this screen here for expected points for captaincy. Oh, mate, I wouldn't be taking hits to get rid of double Newcastle. I think double Newcastle's fine. They got decent clean sheet odds this week, decent expected points. Tottenham are in the mud at the moment. I could see a clean sheet in that game. I agree. That's what I'm doing, spaghetti and beans, mate. This is my team. I think it's pretty template. Bowen might be a bit different from other people's teams, but ultimately, like, I think he's a great option with that fixture. He's been in good form recently. I think, yeah, just going normal and not being too differential is a good way to play. I think it's the old adage in fantasy football, you just pick the players that you think are going to score the most points. That's how I think you play your free hit this week. Captain in Martinelli, yeah, that's fine. I think he's like, if you can't get to Salah, Martinelli's fine. I would personally buy my army, just leave it at the 10. Do the transfer to Trent that you said, and then just roll with 10. Because I know the -8 looks good, but it's -8. Like, the players you bring in have to score 9 more points than the players you've taken out for the hit to be worth it. I'm just not sure. Just not sure it's worth it. It's 9, is it? Who's the player that's not playing? Oh, it's Haaland as well. Right, let's see if we can do this. So I think it could be worth taking out players. Let's see. What we can do with this. I think I'd still be tempted to go with 9. I think I'd still be tempted to go with 9, mate. I really do. Trippier or Robertson? I think I'd go Robertson, but it depends who... Robertson, but it depends who dropping down to Trippier gives you the money to do. Haaland to Jesus this week, then Kane to Haaland next week. I don't mind that. You know, I don't mind that. I don't mind that. Because that's worth a -4 in my opinion. Haaland to Jesus this week is worth the -4. Because Jesus is probably going to do something this week. And then Kane to Haaland next week. Yeah, go on then. That doesn't sound too bad to me. But, obviously it depends on the Arsenal lineup. But I think that's pretty good. Just going to have a look at, see if there's any teams out or anything interesting happening. Dan's having a beer. Give him a like. I'd probably go Martinelli over Saka at the moment. I'm planning to Kepa to Iverson and Zinchenko to Robbie, or if mate. I think I'd probably do Kepa to a better goalkeeper and then Zinchenko to Trippier would be my preference. Like I told you, mate, I don't think Iverson's not a keeper you want to have long term. So I'd do Kepa to a slightly better goalkeeper than Iverson and then buy Trippier instead of Robertson. It's probably what I'd do. It's close though, because obviously Liverpool have a double in 34. I feel like those are the options and you should just decide. I don't really have a preference over what you're asking me now, Brisky. Still don't have Watkins. How have you escaped Watkins? Got quite a lot of deadline streams live now, I imagine. Thank you for choosing to watch me. I really appreciate that. Nah, I don't think that's worth it, Blanky. Like, for every hit you take, the player's got to score 4 points. I just don't like. I don't think taking -4 for like average, and I mean that like Alex Moreno is an average FPL asset, right? He's not gonna. you know, beyond maybe the odd attacking return and a clean sheet, he's not going to get double-digit hauls to be worth a -4, in my opinion. Like, sure, that's not worth it for me. I'm sorry. How consistent do you think Grealish's minutes will be? I'm really not sure on Grealish's minutes. I don't know. I think they will be quite inconsistent. But he's the form player, isn't he? So I think he's probably still got that left-hand side nailed down. I'm for sure taking Ward out next week if I get Iverson. Yep, but I don't think you should get Iverson, in my opinion. I think you should go with the plan I said. Do Kepa to a better goalkeeper than Iverson, and then probably Zinchenko to Trippier. Liverpool predicted lineup is coming right up. There it is. It makes the -8 slightly more attractive, I guess. Slightly more attractive. I wouldn't say it makes it worthwhile. Do you see where I'm coming from with the points about taking hits, though? I guess ultimately, like, the transfers are your decision. I never want to tell people this is the exact player you should bring in for this player. Like, if you give me 2 options and there's a clear one, then I'll say it. Otherwise, you know, I'll tell you if it's a coin flip. Or, yeah, I never like to be completely certain on things. Yeah, but I like to hopefully make people think. Captain Salah or Martinelli, I'd go Salah personally. I'm on Salah. That's the decision I've made. I know. The temptation for Salah this week must be immense if you don't have him. I can completely understand. But I don't think Martinelli is a bad option. I really don't. I wouldn't be worried too much. So I think he's going to play. He's been playing great. The ball's been going a lot to the left-hand side of the Arsenal team. I saw some analysis, it was a few weeks ago actually, as to how not having Saliba in the Arsenal team affects who gets the ball. And the ball is played far more to the left-hand side for Arsenal than it is to the right, which means Martinelli gets on the ball so much more. Yeah, Brisky, like I said, you need to go. You can't afford Alisson then, can you? So you need to go for a cheaper goalkeeper. I think I'm going to stop giving advice on you there because I feel like I've given you the information and you need to make the decision now. I don't think there's much more I can tell you. I think you just need to make a decision. I think you know the best transfers you can make now. I think you just need to come up with a plan yourself. I've given you the players to pick and all that. I think it's up to you. Alex Andrew, no early official team news, but we do have a predicted lineup from Jump the Wave, which I'm just going to flash up. Twitter's just crashed on me. There we go. So it is the Arsenal predicted team. Saka, Martinelli, Jesus are predicted to start. One of the 20 Arsenal predictors has gone for Trossard. 1 out of 20. And Trossard will be replacing Jesus for them. But yeah, I mean, Saka, Martinelli, Jesus, 100, Saka and Martinelli to start. 97% Jesus. So I think that should be something you can lean on, surely. Going to have a quick look at team news and ticks. Salah also doubled in 34, but could you make the transfer later on so you don't take a hit? I feel like these are, yeah, you're asking all the right questions of yourself, Barmy Army. I feel like this is something that I can, you know, it's beyond my realms of advice because it's your decision now at this point, I think. I just think it's so hard to offer advice in those positions, you know. Let's go for that. There you go. There's the fixtures if you want to have a look. Sell Rashi for Eze, Johnston, Robertson, Trippier. Yeah, I've seen you type that, mate. But what do you mean by that? Sell Rashi for Eze. Probably wouldn't do that. because Rashford will be back next week, and then he's got a double in 34, so you'll want him for that. I just don't think that's worth it. If you're new to the stream and enjoying it, I'd appreciate it if you could subscribe. If you're not new, but just enjoying it, I'd also appreciate it if you could like. Thank you. Just chucking that one in there. So I'm just checking my Twitter DMs. I saw I had a few, so I'm just going to just see if there's any news hidden amongst them, so bear with. There might be some nuggets. Nah, nothing in the DMs RE team news yet. Johnson, Trent, White, Gahey, Saka, Gakpo, Martinelli, Elise, Watkins, Solanke, Jesus. Yeah, I like that team, mate. I feel like you could do better than Elise. He's a good player, don't get me wrong, but I feel like there are other players more likely to do well this week over Elise. But I really like the team. I don't have any major comments on it. What are you suggesting with your I see you're typing stuff in, associate, but you're asking me questions. I'm struggling. Gakpo versus Jota predicted points. Savaganda. They're probably on here, to be fair. There you go. They should both be on here somewhere. Oh, Jota. Where's this other? We'll have to go on draft time. 2 seconds. So Jota. Get rid of that filter. Jota's 5.8 predicted points. Remember, he's a forward in FPL. And who was the other one? Gakpo. So Jota 5.8. Gakpo 6.3. I think they'll both play. Gabriel, Trent, Trippier back five. It's not bad. It's not what I've got. I've got this. But that's not a bad back three. I just feel like Arsenal are a bit weaker defensively without Saliba. Ake for Alex Moreno, yeah, that's sort of fine, really. That's fine, because Ake's done, isn't he? I like that. Zinchenko. Excuse me. Zinchenko to Jesus. Oh, sorry. Jesus to Haaland. Haaland to Jesus. Zinchenko to Trent. 2 nice transfers this week, and I think worth the -4. But just remember, next week you're going to have to bring Haaland straight back in. Depends how much you got in the bank, Izana. We can have a look. We can have a look how much you got in the bank. How much you have in the bank will help me answer that question. But I don't mind Alex Moreno. No Zinchenko update. All we know is that Arteta said in the presser today that he's injured, but he's been in training this week. So it's very, very oddball. The Arsenal prediction is literally 50-50 between him and Tierney to play. So no one really knows what's happening with Zinchenko. I'll have a quick Twitter look. See what they say. No, I mean, how much, like, 0.6, does that mean you've got 5.6 to pay for a player? Sorry, I said in the bank, how much budget do you have to pay for someone? So Zinchenko has arrived with the Arsenal team. The African Gooner, who was featured on AFTV, has suggested he's going to start. I don't know if he's reliable. He's arrived with the squad. But that doesn't mean he's going to start. I just think it's so tight on Zinchenko, isn't it? Like, it really is. Who's put what on the CV? Cracking FPL YouTube channels on mine. No, I'm joking. I always get shit like this on my timeline as well. I might have accidentally followed them, actually. Oh, yeah, I did. Oops. Why would you go Zinchenko over Gabriel if confirmed? Oh, featured on AFC. Do you reckon he just got one? Like, I don't mean to take the piss. Like, it's pretty cool, but yeah. I'm not going to take the piss. That's not nice. Would you go Zinchenko over Gabriel if confirmed to start? Oh, yeah, definitely. I think Zinchenko is the best of the Arsenal defenders. Joe Rice's free hits. Yeah, so you've got 0.86 in the bank. Sorry, I need to go back to this guy's Ake situation. I don't know what I do with Ake. I'm going to put him in my team. Put him in this team, take him out, and then see if it gives me suggestions. Okay, so it says the best replacement is Robertson, Van Dijk, and then Kanate. There you go. Trippier's up there. Fabian Schär's one to consider, to be fair. So yeah, saying Schär and Alex Moreno are probably the two you want to look at, if you can see that, mate. Hopefully that helps you, Izana. I agree on Zinchenko. That probably will get 10 to 20 minutes because, what's his name? Tierney's a perfectly good option, in my opinion, to start. I don't think he'll be rushed. Oh, wrong screen. You just got me. Hello. Yeah, Ake pulled his hamstring in the Champions League against Bayern. Very unfortunate for Man City, but yeah. Right, I'll read Joe's team now. Johnson, Trent, nice. Gabriel, Virgil. Not sure about Van Dijk, mate. I just think Robertson's got the better upside of attacking returns. Eze, Martinelli, Salah, Andreas, Odegaard, Kane, Watkins. Bench, Martinez, Solanke, Castagne, Anderson. I don't mind it. I feel like you could spend a bit less on your bench and go for Robertson over Van Dijk. That would probably be what I'd do. Because you don't need a bench like that on your free hit, mate. Because most of your players are going to play. Like, you're not going to need to lean on your bench on your free hit. That's why I've just got. I know it's, decent, but they really are cheap players. I prefer Isak and Gakpo. I think I do. I think I prefer Isak and Gakpo to those two. Yeah. Isak and Gakpo. I think Isak's going to play, and he's better than. Yeah. I just not like. Palace are playing great on there, and they're in good form. But Eze is like the proper streaky player. Like, he'll get a brace one game, not do anything for 4 games, get a brace, not do anything, score a goal, not do anything. He's like the 2-2-2-10, 2-2-2-10. That's sort of his points. I've stolen that from a good fantasy football player called Paul McNulty. No, I don't think it's all right. I think I'd be worried if I didn't. But I think, it's just whether the hits are worth it. It's who you got in your team currently that you want to sell him for. I've only got one Liverpool attacker, mate. Look at me. Just got Salah. And I've said that I think Martinelli's the second best captain. So I just don't feel like... not sure the -8 was worth it for your team. That's all right, Joe Rice. Hopefully that helped you. I just feel like you'll want Like, Virgil's only going to get points. Obviously, he can score goals, right? And get assists. Of course he can. Because he's pretty good from set pieces. But, like, if you weigh it up, if they keep a clean sheet, both him and Robertson get points. But I think Robertson is more likely to get an attack in return than Virgil. So for that reason, I'd probably downgrade someone on that bench to upgrade Virgil van Dijk to Robertson. You can blame me if Virgil van Dijk scores now this weekend and Robertson doesn't. But, like, surely you got to think Robertson's more likely to score than Van Dijk. But yeah, I'm pretty much locked now, I think. I don't think I'm going to change this team now. Barring any early team news for Arsenal, I don't think I'm going to change it. I'm going to have a gander again at Twitter just to see what's happening. Let's see what's happening in the world. Well, there's some controversial things being said by the Arsenal coach there. Castagne or Moreno? I think I've got to say Moreno, mate. I think you've got to say Moreno there. I want some cheese. I do like some White Farms cheddar, to be fair. Anyone got a favourite cheese? I think mine's Brie. Brie just edges it for me. I really like a bit of Brie. Bit of Brie on a cracker or with some bacon in a sandwich. Ooh. Ooh. Mate, the FPL servers are going to have a pandemonium if Jesus doesn't start. And I'm not here for it. I've got Andres Pereira on the bench, so I think I might just leave it, to be honest. Leave it up to the gods. Andres Pereira's going to come on and absolutely nail it. Oh yeah, you should wait for the Arsenal team news. I wouldn't wait too long. But yeah, we should see if we get any Arsenal team news. I'm refreshing. Zinchenko has walked to the bus for Southampton with a boot bag. He's in the squad, so I mean that says he could be on the bench. Yeah, we will get Arsenal team news at 6:35. Oh, excuse me, sorry, I've had a full day of work today as well, so I'm a little bit tired. Sorry for the yawns. But yeah, here's him in training 2 days ago. Right, is that a player that's injured? If he can move his body like this? Hang on. I won't drag. There you go. That was him in training 2 days ago. It's so tough. It's so tough, all this Zinchenko stuff. Oh, it's just a French translation of the Zinchenko had a boot bag tweet. What a weird thing to see on my timeline. Christ. I thought that was something else. I don't know about you. It's just a massage, people. Don't get panicked. Who is that? Who's retweeted that? I'm gonna switch accounts to my personal one and just see if there's anything different on my Twitter feed. Fair enough, Joe, if that's what you think. No, I don't know, mate. I mean, this is up to you. So I'm going to give you a summary of what's happened with early team news in the past. So I think it was about game week 19, something like that. Might have been earlier than that. It's well documented on the channel, by the way. There's like a short that I uploaded about it. But we were all waiting to see if Haaland was on the bench or playing. And we got team news from this Team News and Ticks account 10 minutes before the deadline. Well, it might have been 5 minutes before the deadline. I brought in Callum Wilson, who scored 2 goals and 2 assists that week. But the transfer didn't go through because the servers crashed because everyone was trying to bring him in. So I think Zinchenko is popular enough that people are going to be waiting for team news that could crash the servers. So that is one thing to consider. I would personally give it till 10-2. Yeah, Botman's Trent's fine, mate. I think that's a good move. I think that's a good move. Let's see what Team News and Ticks has got to say. Let's see if they've said anything. Anyone replied about Zinchenko? I'm sure someone has. I'm going to tweet him. But yeah, Botman to Trent's fine, mate. If Zinchenko plays, I think that's absolutely a decent move. There's a free hit example there from a good friend of mine, Sam Martin. It's a pretty tasty team, that. He's a Leicester fan, if you couldn't tell. Oh, fuck it. That's a weird video, man. How do I not see that video? You got nothing on the Zinchenko front at the moment, I'm afraid. I think I'm locked with this team. I don't have to worry about Zinchenko, thankfully. Well, I do because he's in my team, but it's all right. He's in my team for next week when he should be fit. But yeah, here's how I'm looking. I'm happy. I think I'm settled. I could do Bowen to Maddison, but I've had Maddison and he's been rubbish. So I'm going for Bowen. I could quickly show you another team of mine, my fan team. I'll just log in, so I'll have to change screens. So you'll have to get me a second full screen. But yeah, if anyone, you got guys, I can't even get my words out. What have you guys got planned this weekend other than watching football and if you don't own Salah, watching it all behind the sofa? I was going to a swimming competition on Sunday. I'm quite a competitive swimmer, and I had a meet on Sunday that I was very excited about. And we all got an email about an hour ago saying that the pool's got an adjustable floor and it's broken, so it's cancelled. But I'm trying to be positive because we'll just do a time trial in training or something instead. There you go. There's my fan team. Don't pay too much attention to this because there's no free hit chip. But this is my team. I think that's pretty tidy team. I'm 28th overall, and currently £168 is entering my account at the end of the season for how I finished, which is not too bad. So yeah, if any of you guys are fan teamers, that's how I'm looking. I've got Bowen in that as well. Bowen has done me bits. Bowen in general has done bits, to be fair. Bowen is not a bad option, in my opinion. Bowen over Tony. No, Tony. Tony's amazing, mate. You can't. Don't know about that. Yeah, I wouldn't rip up your transfer plans. It'd be great, wouldn't it, Chris? I think they need to add that feature. Hopefully they do at some point. Sky Fantasy Football does that, really. If you don't play that, that's another game that I play. Sky Bet runs Sky Fantasy Football, and you can do a mini league with any buy-in, I think. And then when you pay the money to join the mini league, it sits with Sky Bet, so it's nice and safe for them. And then it gets fairly paid out at the end of the season. They don't take any money off you for holding it. It's you get the full value you put in. So Sky Sports Fantasy Football is the best one for paid mini leagues, in my opinion. There are people that play that game that rather than focusing on the main prize, they enter mini leagues and just try and win them all. Oh, fair enough. Fair enough, mate. But yeah, fan team paid league. Fan team mini leagues would be good fun, wouldn't they? $25 minutes to go. Let me know if you've got any more questions. I'm here for it. If you're new to the stream and having a good time, please make sure to subscribe and leave a like. If you're not new to the stream and enjoying it, please leave a like all the same. I'd appreciate that. But yeah, I don't feel I have too much more to talk about, to be honest, on this one. Keep asking questions in the chat, but I'm my team is settled. It's settled. Not so template FPL. What have you gone for, mate? I'm firmly chicken tikka boona myself. That's usually my choice. Don't like them spicy. I just like them tasty. But yeah, it's pleasure. It's a pleasure to have you here with your curry, your Ruby Murray. I always have chips as well with a curry, which is a bit criminal, I know, but tikka masala, nice, solid. I always have chips with my curry. People knock me for it, but I feel like if you're going for a curry, it doesn't really matter about having rice instead to be healthy. Just have chips. So I have chips. Sometimes known to have chips and rice and a naan bread and poppadoms as well. None of your transfers are safe yet, I'm afraid, Barbie. I mean, you're just going to have to sit on your hands for another 10 or 15 minutes, I reckon. We'll flash up Twitter again, see if anyone's got some team news. Arsenal team out? Where have you seen that then? I ain't seen it yet. No Xhaka. Okay, I didn't know that. Salah, Trippier, Van Dijk, Trent, Eze, Saka, Martinelli, Salah, Watkins. That's a really nice team. I can't really roast it. It's pretty similar to mine, except I have Johnston, Robertson, and Bowen. But yeah, I really like it, man. I can't really roast that team. It's a good team. I can't roast it. It's absolutely fine. Your name is not so template, so obviously you're gonna go a bit off the template. This is a weird group chat, man. Reliable FPL team news. See if there's anything in here. All the team leakers are here. Yeah, I feel the same. Not so template. I've got to say, it really is hard, isn't it? Salah captain sort of just makes complete sense. Unless you don't own him, if you're not on a free hit, you kind of got to go for him. And then you can't not have triple Arsenal, can't not have triple Liverpool, can't not have either Trippier or... It just picks itself, doesn't it? It just is what it is. The fact that you're playing your free hit is differential enough. It's pretty much, I would hope, guarantees you a green arrow this week. That's dangerous last words, isn't it? But surely, I mean, if you got your free hit in a decent free hit squad, you're getting a green arrow. Reeve, mate, I am on a free hit. This is not my team, normally. I'm on a free hit. I think Zinchenko to Trent is a good move. I thought you were doing that anyway, though. I thought your question was about... obviously, if Zinchenko plays, it means he's not the most priority sell, is the only point. But, like... yeah, it's still a good move. Just thinking of the future fixtures. Reeve, I'm searching myself, mate. I've got nothing so far, just because there isn't any, I'm afraid. Everyone's just like, what should I do with... Right, not so templated. It's probably worth sharing with everyone, actually. I'll do it in a post. I'm away. I'm going to flying out to Barcelona on Tuesday, and I booked the holiday before like the doubles in 34 and 33. Well, the 33 game weeks were confirmed. Because obviously, you know, double game week 33 is a mid-game week, a midweek game week, and 34 is a nice double when it's on the Saturday. So... nothing particular, mate. I'm just going around the cathedral. Go to the new camp on Wednesday. That should be good. So yeah, unfortunately, I won't be able to go live on Tuesday and Saturday when the deadlines are. I would go live from like my hotel or something, but I am literally going to be in an aeroplane for both deadlines, which is a bit annoying. But my plan is to take my laptop and a mic with me, and I'll just make some videos. So I'll do my usual ultimate guide videos for each week, which I think are probably like the most informative videos I make. So there'll be one of those out for each of the game weeks for sure. And then beyond that, I'll just see what I have time for. I'll probably do a buy and avoid as well, because I like doing the buy and avoid videos. So I'll probably do one of them. But yeah, so in Barcelona, I'm going to the cathedral, Sagrada. I can't even say what it's called. Sagrada Familia, something like that. I'm going there on Wednesday, sorry. I fly out on the Tuesday night. So I'll go in there on the Wednesday. And then, the new camp is on the Thursday. And then I'll probably just have a mooch about, eat some paella, take some pictures, just chill out, really. A little insight into my life. This swimming competition that I mentioned on Sunday, I've been training for it for about a solid block of 3 months worth of training. I'm really pushing myself. Done some really, really hard stuff. And unfortunately, it's been cancelled. So I'm doing all this training for a competition that's now been cancelled. But it's what it is. So yeah, my plan was after that competition, whether it goes badly or not, or well, go to Barcelona, chill out for a bit. And yeah, work's been really busy. I balance a full-time job on top of doing all this YouTube stuff. So it's just been really busy. So I just felt I needed a break, and it was a cheap time to go away because none of the kids are in the school or anything. Sorry, all the kids are in school. But yeah, just means I can't do live streams, but I'll be fine. And making videos is literally my hobby, so I'm happy to take that with me to Barcelona because I really enjoy doing it, and it doesn't feel like work. So yeah, I'll definitely put a video out for 33 and 34. Hopefully 2 for each week, maybe just 1. But yeah, definitely won't be able to go live because I'll be sat on an EasyJet. But if anyone's been to if anyone has been to Barcelona before, I'd be up for recommendations too. Robertson, Konate, or Van Dijk. Robertson for me. Who scores more, Eze or Isaac? I've got to go Isaac because he's on the penalties. Who takes the penalties for Crystal Palace when Zaha's not on the pitch? It's Milivojevic, Edouard, and then someone else. So I don't know. I think Isaac is probably better. What do you think about Jensen? I have a very tight budget. Are you buying Jensen this week as your transfer, or you just got him and considering starting him or selling him? I think if you've got him, just keep him. But if you're looking to bring him in, I think you can do better. Captain Saka, Martinelli, or Watkins? Oh, it's tough, that. That's tough. Honestly, my gut says Watkins there, but I think it's Watkins, Martinelli, Saka is the order. I think Martinelli's better than Saka. Just don't, you can't ignore the Andreas Pereira, Zaki. Andreas Pereira this week, undoubtedly, in my opinion. Leeds at home, great fixture, great player, 4.3 million. What more could you want? Andreas Pereira. Or Willian. But I think I prefer Andreas Pereira. He takes penalties as well, does Pereira. You have Andreas already, but you need another. Willian. Hello, Safa, mate. 4.9 or under. Right, let's have a gander. Let's have a goosey then. Let's set the filter. Oh, look at that. See all my tabs. Yep, I've got Bowen in my team at the moment, mate. You got 4.9 million. Midfielders. Who have we got? Well, it's 12.9, not 4.9. There you go. I would have said Leon Bailey, but he's not been in the team, has he? I think it probably is Jensen, you know, or Tavernier, yeah. He's not really been pulling up. He's not, well, he had a bit of a gap of minutes there. In his last games, he's played 45, 32, 52, and then a bit more of the game. Minutes have been really lacking in that gap. He did really well, though, didn't he, before? Like, he had a good run of a few games, but I'm not sure I could say him with those minutes. Jensen, I think he's pretty decent for minutes, not amazing. I saw someone had Jacob Murphy. For Nows, does he play? No. Matthias Nunes. I quite like Matthias Nunes, I do. Next fixtures are Leicester, Crystal Palace. He's my pick. This dude right here. He'd be my pick, I think. I'm basing it on one banger v Chelsea. But he's a highly regarded football player, isn't he, Matthias Nunes? They paid a good money for him. Go on, that'd be my pick. I don't really know if it's going to do bits for you, but not so template FPL. Don't know what he thinks. That's very not so template, isn't it, Matthias Nunes? But I quite like that. You're very welcome, mate. I hope that was helpful. I can't claim to be an expert or anything. Mega template. We've got 11 minutes to go. Should we have a gander, see if there's any more team news? No Xhaka. Sorry, Reeve, you've asked me that a couple of times. I prefer Gakpo. Yeah, I think Jesus will start, mate. It's a good record for Isaac, isn't it? Thoughts on Elise? Sorry, I'm just catching up with the chat. Thoughts on Elise instead of Saka? Prefer Saka. He's got the penalties. Ooh, there's some old school graphics there. No, that's just Arsenal doing some tweeting. Is the Arsenal arriving at the Emirates? Trossard. Ramsdale behind him. Apparently Zinchenko walked in with a kit bag, so... That's alright, Reeve. Elise's... Honestly, would you like me to flip a coin for you, Reeve? Because I really do think that's close. I think it's so close. Trossard for Saka? No, I think it's going to be Saka, Jesus, Martinelli. All right. So this is by the way, if you're new to the channel, in previous weeks for every 50-50 decision, I went on a holiday to I'll go on holiday quite a bit, but I went on a holiday to Bali over winter, and this is a coin from Bali. Eze was wonderful for you last week, mate. It doesn't have a head or a tail, but I'll go. This side is Eze, so the bird is Eze, and that side is Elise. Okay. Eze? Is that Eze? Is that side Eze? I think that said Eze for that side. There you go. The decision's made. I prefer Martinelli to Saka as an option this week. I really do. I think while Saliba's out of the team, the passing for Arsenal goes far more to the left-hand side. So yeah, so I definitely prefer Martinelli to Saka. Isak or Tony? Ooh, it's very close. But easy, that's probably a coin flip for me, if you want me to do a coin flip. It depends also if you're in a free hit. If you're in a free hit, it's very close. If you're not, I just go Isak, because Tony's going to get a ban at some point. Like, he's going to get a yellow card at some point. He only needs one. Start Tony over Eze? I would. I don't have Eze in my team, and I've got Tony. Where is this team news? Mate, I don't know. I don't have any Arsenal inside knowledge. I don't know. I'm trying, mate. I'm refreshing. By the way, FPL Boona. So do not trust this account. Do not trust this account, right? Team news and ticks. This is FPL Boona, all right? He's a big troll. Do not trust FPL Boona. Look, he's already changed his name, look, to troll us. See? FPL Boona, Team News. He's already changed it. Ready to troll us. Don't let him get you. Don't be Boona'd, alright? If the tweet comes from Boona. No, I'm only joking, Ben. I'm only joking. Don't worry. Don't worry. I don't take these things seriously, pal. Don't worry about it. Just be ready for the FPL Boona tweet. Is that what FPL Focal's doing, Sefer, is it? That's fair enough. Yeah. Is he on his free hit? Or is he free hitting in 34? Sorry, it's very hard for me to keep up with all the content creators being one because I spend all my time making stuff. Yeah, Zinchenko's an iffy one, mate. The manager said he was injured. He's in the squad. He travelled with the squad to the game, and he's been in training. So I hope so too, mate. I think Nunez is a decent. Why not? There's so like it's just so punty at that price, isn't it? Like there's not a best one. Like you could have had Jensen, you could have had Nunez, could have had Tavernier, as not so template said. Like it's just so little in it, isn't there? I hope it works out for you too, pal. Oh, this is a FPL South. There we go. So this dude, there we go. So FPL South does actually, so I followed him for a reason, because he's had some Man City team leaks in the past. And he's saying that Jesus, Saka, Martinelli all start. Right, so he's been right in the past about Man City team news. I'm not saying he's correct, and I'm just saying what I know about him in the past, right? And he's saying that's the front three. So there's some team news for you. Unfortunately, it doesn't say anything about Zinchenko. Risky, I have no idea what you're trying to say there. Yeah, there you go. That's the best insider news I can give you at the moment. FPL South saying Jesus, Saka, Martinelli all start. No, so you've got to be careful, Brisky, with team news and ticks. Let's see if he's actually tweeted. He's not tweeted. So you've been boonered, Brisky. Because if you look at FPL Booner, he's a very popular troll. He's got team news and ticks as his name. Take all the tweets with a pinch of salt, mate. I've not seen team news and ticks tweet. But I have seen FPL South tweet. So there's your Arsenal team news. Not quite anything from team news and ticks, Brisky. There you go. We brought you an exclusive, didn't we? There's some team news. Best Zinchenko replacement. I've already told you to bring into your team. I'm sorry, but I've forgotten what your team looks like now. I think we told you what to do with your team, didn't we? Don't mean to sound harsh, but genuinely, I can't remember now. I'm trying to find some team news. Yeah, so FPL South, so we've got some news. Did he say in the comments that Zinchenko starts today? Yeah, Zinchenko's starting. Zinchenko is starting. Hopefully Barmy Army hasn't made his transfers. What a fucking nightmare if he has. Oh my god, I'm glad. There you go, there's the news. Oh, bloody hell, that's stressy, isn't it? Barmy Army, if you want me to help you, what do you need? There's the team news. Bloody hell. I know you got 3 minutes, but I don't know what you want to do. Right, what transfers can you make? I don't have your team in my head. You want Trent. You were going to do Botman to Trent, weren't you? Do Botman to Trent. Don't think twice. Do Botman to Trent. Do it. Do it, pal. If you've got Zinchenko, I wouldn't take him out then if he starts. Nine players. Jesus plays. You were thinking about getting rid of him. Getting rid of Haaland for Jesus, weren't you? Martinelli, Ben. I would captain Martinelli if I didn't have Salah. Interesting, not so template FPL. Interesting. Both great options, Chris C. Both great options. By the way, this whole time I've been streaming, an old friend of mine has come to visit, and I've been on stream ignoring him. So I really need to go at 1:30 and go and see him and say hello because I feel very rude. He's been in the army for the last 6 months, so none of us have seen him. So I'm very excited to see him. So yeah, I'll have to go straight away. I don't really know what to suggest, Barmy Army. I think you're fine. You wanted to do Haaland to Jesus. I think that's a sensible transfer. I wouldn't captain Trent. I'd captain Martinelli. Oh, God. Reeve. Saka. The coin said Saka. That's fine, Sefa. That's fine. There we go. We got some team news at the end, didn't we? I'm glad I could bring that to you. There you go. It was worth staying on the stream, wasn't it? Got to see all my predictions, mate. As soon as the deadline goes, I'll show you my predictions. 9 players, wouldn't worry. You've brought in Trent, who's a good option. There's the deadline. Bosh. There's my predictions quickly. I said 3-1 to Arsenal. That's my predictions. Right, like I said, I've got an old friend around my house now visiting, so if you don't mind, I'm going to go and see him and say hello because it's been a little while. If you enjoyed the stream, I'd appreciate if you leave a like rating. Enjoy your curry, not so template FPL. I hope your tikka masala is everything you wanted. And yeah, subscribe to the channel if you're new and enjoyed it. And yeah, I'll catch you. I'll probably upload a video Sunday after all the football's done. Yeah, I'll upload on Sunday. I'm sure I will. I'll have time, so I'll do that. And yeah, I'll catch you again live in a couple of weeks. You ready? I've got to scroll up to my intro, holding the salute pose.